I'm about to tell you something you're not going to hear on the evening news. Russia is laughing at the United States of America right now. Ukraine is also laughing at the United States of America right now. Wait until you hear what they're saying and why. This is pretty mind blowing. But first, we have to start with this satellite imagery. Here you can see Russia. It's right along the border with Ukraine, and they're amassing troops there in many locations. Why? It's a game of chicken with the United States and the Biden administration. And Putin thinks Russia can win that game of chicken. And Putin is probably right. I'm going to tell you why. You see, the United States military doesn't want another one of these. This is Afghanistan. Our disastrous pullout was an embarrassment on the world stage. And even though the media only covered it for a couple of weeks or something, it still sticks with people that this is how we left Kabul, Afghanistan. And we left our own people there, for God's sake. Other countries don't forget that you do that. So what are we doing now? Well, the State Department is ordering the evacuation of U.S. diplomats and their families from Ukraine because they don't want another one of these. So they're trying to get ahead of things. And because they did this, now Ukraine is laughing at us. And Ukrainian President Zelensky has said, Americans are safer in Kyiv, the capital, than in Los Angeles. He's saying that Americans are safer where they are than in Los Angeles, taking a shot at the United States, an ally, for God's sake. He said LA or any other crime-ridden city in the U.S. Why? Because they don't know what the hell's going on. They don't know why the U.S. is pulling out like this and why they're showing weakness in the face of this Russian aggression. Russia's winning the game of chicken. I see here in this New York Times graphic, you can see all the places where Russian troops are amassed along the border with Ukraine, even in some of these more controversial regions, like Crimea in particular. Russian troops are all over the place. There's more than 100,000 of them ready to go. They're often there, but now they're also in Belarus. And there are many areas where you have Russian military troops ready to go at any moment across and into Ukraine. But this is really, really upsetting Ukrainian leadership that we're pulling out and showing such weakness. The Ukrainian president, in his entire statement from BuzzFeed News, said Volodymyr Zelensky does not think there's any remotely imminent threat to Kyiv at the moment, a source close to the president told BuzzFeed News on Monday, reacting to the partial U.S. withdrawal. That's how they're phrasing this. The fact that the U.S. was the first one to announce this being the voluntary departures and mandatory withdrawals, is extremely disappointing. And quite frankly, these Americans are safer in Kyiv than they are in Los Angeles. They said this move by the U.S. was utterly ridiculous and symbolic of what it views as U.S. inconsistency. On one hand, Washington tells Ukraine how we could democratize. We stand with you. It's your right to determine to join the West. We will stand with you against Russian aggression, the source said. Then Russia turns up the temperature and they're first to leave. Again, they want to avoid one of these. But now they're embarrassing themselves. The Biden administration, once again, on the world stage. Even the EU, they're like, we're not leaving Ukraine. Why is the U.S. leaving Ukraine?
Well, Secretary Blinken will explain us the reasons of this announcement. We are not going to do the same thing because we don't know any specific reasons. But Secretary Blinken will inform us. And I don't think we have to dramatize. As far as the negotiations are going on, and they are going on, I don't think that we have to let Ukraine and leave.
We don't have to leave, says the EU. They're wondering what the hell's going on with Americans as well. Even the press is starting to ask questions. The press secretary, Jen Psaki, was asked by a reporter today, are Americans in Ukraine on their own? This from a fake The News Junkie account.
Well, we are conveying very clearly now that now is the time to leave and that there are means to do that. Of course, there's commercial airlines. You can depart over land. There's obviously the embassy there to provide assistance. And this is very similar to what we did in Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, and many other countries over the course of the last several decades. But there is not an intention or a plan for any military evacuation.
All right, so what signal is the U.S. sending by seeing this Russian aggression and the mounting of troops and getting the hell out of there because they're so scared of repeating this once again? I can't stress to you how important this was in what we're doing as a response to this. So, will the US let Ukraine fall to Russia in their bid to get back to where the Soviet Union once was? Will Putin defeat Biden? What's going to happen next? And is the US just determined to have a cluster F of a situation in Ukraine, almost exactly modeling what happened in Afghanistan? Except now, instead of getting out too late and in a sloppy manner, they're getting out too early and embarrassing themselves, losing a game of chicken before it even seems to have started. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm eager to hear what you think is going to happen next, what you think of what the Biden administration is doing so far, the messages that are sent by doing this. Give me all of your thoughts in the comments below and I'll engage with you. Facebook.com/the News Junkie. Take a second, hit that follow button. YouTube.com/the News Junkie. Please hit that subscribe button and follow along so you can get updates on everything that's happening in the news, including this major story. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon.